Hi everyone, welcome to All Four Queens. So today, I've just done one, but I want to do this one as well, and I was just thinking about it. I was sitting in my prayer, and I was asking certain pertinent questions. Obviously, there's a lot gone on, hasn't there? You know, people have done things and in the past, and it's all coming out. And 2024 was revelation, and I wasn't the only person that's picked up on, knows about it. But divine timing is just that, isn't it? Timing is everything, and you share it when you're guided to share it, and other readers are picking up on it as well. So I asked the question about where we are, and what I got back was be quiet, listen, for I am God. So I want to show you the cards that came out as well, because I wanted to understand, obviously in my case, and I think it's happened to a lot of people, there was a huge campaign to distort and ruin and characters and reputations, and purely out of fear, and like I say on an earlier recording, what is it, hate or fear? And it's actually fear, isn't it? It's fear because things have been done that were wrong, and people didn't do the right thing and put them right. So what they did was they added more wrong on top of a wrong by trying to destroy and create a narrative that made them feel better, because obviously, lies, perjury, illegal activities, corruption, whatever you want to call it, it's all come to pass, hasn't it? But that's what I say about the memo. We all got the memo. It's just that some people chose to ignore it because they thought they were above the law. And when I say above the law, I mean spiritual law, God himself, eye of light, and physical. Because like I said before, I don't believe everybody in the physical is has a price. I think some people are genuine and are there for the right reasons. There's just some that are the bad apples, aren't they? And obviously their judgment is with the man upstairs. And when I say the man upstairs, what I mean is where you don't get justice, because remember justice and judgment cards in the tarot, where you don't get justice and judgment in the physical, you will always get justice and judgment in the spiritual. Now, what do I mean by that? We don't wish karma on anyone, but you do reap what you sow. And I do believe in karmic justice, as anybody would. So where you may not get physical judgment and justice, you will always get spiritual. Because why do I say that? Because things have to balance. If there's been an imbalance or an injustice, it has to be put right for the universe to balance. And it's taken a long time for this to come to pass, but it has to balance, because it can't continue in a negative when a wrong was done. I hope that makes sense. So why am I saying this? Because it was a mass hysteria of lies, deception, manipulation over money, over positions, whatever you want to call it, and people have used their positions of power to be able to gain. And then if we look around, and this isn't just my story, if we look around, there's a lot of people losing things. And why are they losing things, and I'm going to use America again. Why are they losing things? Why are they getting caught up? Because how they got it is how they'll lose it. And I think that's common sense prevails, isn't it? You don't have to have any sort of religious understanding. As children, we're taught right from wrong. But some people just carry on because they believe that they're getting away with it, and you're getting away with nothing. All you're doing is you're just building up a rap sheet of spiritual injustice. So let's get to the cards. So I asked the question, where are we? We know that people have done things and lied and taken things that weren't theirs, and not just on my side, this is everybody collectively. So people are fighting, and I think this is the anxiety that I'm feeling at the minute. There's a lot of anxiety, and I said in one of the previous ones, I was in the street and there's that massive tower that hits. This is not just between the soulmate connections, the divine connections. This is the world. This is the world having to face some of the decisions that either they made or their ancestors made. But their ancestors are asking them to do the right thing, and people are choosing to ignore the messages. All I do is give the messages. What you choose to do with them is up to you. So everyone's fighting. death, because they were all sold a dream that if you just do this little prayer and you just send out this load of energy, it'll be all right, because it's just, you know, nothing could come to pass. But what happens when that energy goes back? And remember what I said, death magic isn't always about a physical death. It can be, because of the intention, but it's also about all the things that you have, like your finances, like your home. You know, your children will have chaos and conflict, and I'm not wishing that on anyone, but these are the things that can happen because of the intention you put out. That intention comes back to you. So that's why I say be mindful. So now everyone's sitting thinking, wish I didn't take that cup, or I wish I'd have taken the cup from the hand of the Most High. Now, I've said before in a previous one, regret, remorse, or is it because it didn't work? But, you know, coming for touch not my anointed, do my prophet no harm, why did you ever think it would? I think they celebrated too soon. So they regretted the cup, but they also celebrated, thinking that it was all going to work. What they didn't anticipate, like I said, the memo. Everyone got the memo. Some didn't, some did. 2000, you know, when we went into lockdown. But prior to that, you know, I was doing work, you know, on my purpose, clearing out karma, doing what I was supposed to do. And it's not common sense. It's just the right thing to do. Be kind. The cycle closed. 999. So what's happening now is people are still throwing stuff out, but the cycle closed. They took fast action to create more illusions with the family in the past. Who are now all in the Nine of Swords. And that's not a card that I'd want to be in. Remember I said you get either, karma is either your illnesses that are on display for everyone to see. Can be spiritual jail, which is obviously in your head, of stress of all the things that you've done. You're reminded of it day in, day out by your ancestors who administer your karma. Or can be the death, obviously losing things, or it can be the physical, depending on what your crime was and how severe they think it was. So now everyone's stressed because of the abuse that they administered, and were quite happy to do so, and was all laughing and joking and finding it funny because, you know, they put it out there, but what they didn't take into account is going to come back, isn't it? All because they were given a fishy cup of lies, deception, deceit. But actually, you know, what I'm going to say about that is you can blame the person that lied and you can say that they were at fault. But are they at fault when grown-ups decided to take action on a cup of lies and didn't validate anything and didn't check it out before they actually took action? So who's culpable? I'll leave that one with you. Because now all the lies are out, all the deception, everything that was said and done is now out. People who participated now see the truth for what it actually is, but they're now sitting in all the energy that they put out because somebody told them, gave them a fishy cup of lies. Everyone's now under judgment. The Emperor moved forward. Now you could say he either collaborated or he investigated. Take it as you resonate it in your story, because everyone's story is pretty much the same. Things, people lied on people and it's all come to pass that it wasn't true. People didn't use discernment or intuition. So he moved forward. But what he did was, if you look at that, now you could say that's giving, but you can also say this is a card of breadcrumbing. Now I'm going to use it for breadcrumbing because that's exactly what he did. He breadcrumbed the single person who had a divine connection, and what they did was they used the divine connection for greed and wealth, and they didn't use the divine connection for the right reasons, but the divine allowed them to do it. Why? Because to build up and see and actually give grace to see if they were going to do things right. But no, they actually went the opposite way and then created more karma by creating more lies. So justice stepped in because of the magician, who is now guarded, quite rightly so, because obviously all this has been created and no one validated anything, who's now guarded and angry. But you could also, that's a card of jealousy as well. But if you notice, some people have dropped their swords now. Some people have walked away and realised that actually it wasn't what was promised. So there's a lot of anger, frustration, jealousy maybe. You know, for all the people that participated, whether that was deception, manipulation, poisoning of foods, you know, trying to hold people back, whatever their role was, they've realised that that energy is now coming back, because they were all waiting for the you know, the death magic, I guess, for their ships to come in, because everyone was promised something. But it came to light that they were all working for an Ace of Pentacles. So they were all working because they'd all been promised this. Now, I always look at the Ace of Pentacles, and sometimes the Ace of Pentacles can be money, but it can also be, abundance is different things for different people, isn't it? And it can be gifts, it can be spiritual inheritance, it can be spiritual gifts, it can be spiritual knowledge, it can be wisdom, it can be anything that, you know, the Lord our God gives us. It can be money as well. So, but obviously, remember what I said, how you get it is how you lose it. And remember, everything is recorded by Archangel Metatron anyway. When you step into the spiritual realm, you understand a little bit more about why we're here. And it's not just to, you know, sit around, watch TV and party all the time, is it really? There's a lot more to it than that. But hey-ho, everyone to their own. That's not a judgment. You do what you want. So everyone was chasing this promise of this Ace of Pentacles. What they didn't realise, God works in mysterious ways, it was actually karma. And the jealousy, you know, people that realised because they should have validated before and used discernment and intuition, some people have walked away. And now they're stuck. Probably with the energy that they put out. In a tower, because the Knight of Pentacles, being the slowest moving card in the deck, made promises a very long time ago that they get this Ace of Pentacles. And when they rushed in to do whatever they were doing, and maybe they did get it, but you're sitting in karma, and when they rushed in, you know, they rushed into the truth, and the truth will set you free, and it breaks any stronghold, it breaks any spell, anything that's been put in there, because the truth is the truth. No matter how many lies are told, no matter how much deception is given, no matter how much suggestion of manipulation is given to try and make something seem what you want it to be and to have your own self-fulfilling prophecy, the truth will always cut through. So that's a sword. The truth will always cut through anything, because you never have to remember the truth. You only have to remember lies. And so the truth. Which means now everyone's trying to get strength around a house and a marriage. With the Queen of Cups. Whose victory was a message to get balance, because the world, remember, everybody got sold the dream and the world participated, or those that were part of it participated, is now trapped because of the trap that they thought they were going to put somebody under. They're now facing the return. So now the world is trapped in regret, and they're heartbroken. I'm going to tell you now. They're heartbroken. You know, this is sheer heartbreak because people didn't use discernment and they didn't use intuition and they went on the devil's highway. And so not only did they hurt themselves, they hurt their own lineage, which is why the ancestors' messages that I put out are for those who need to hear it. Because they're heartbroken, because the truth was about the true love anyway. And so they attacked the very thing that God had provided, and they utilised, remember I said, they utilised, they manipulated, and they used the divine connection for greed. But actually, it wasn't for that purpose. It was because it was about true love. You know, and anything, money will come, but money don't buy your love, does it? And they missed the memo, basically, and I'm trying to find the Hierophant card to give you some sort of clarity around it, but I can't find it. So yeah, so basically manipulated the divine connection for money, but completely missed the point of what the divine was giving, and it was also true love. But money was more important, and then to get the masses to get involved, basically, you know, God works in mysterious ways. So now everyone tried to run to calmer waters. Some did go within, you know, and that's good because that's the whole purpose of why we're here, aren't we? To heal and recognise our wrongs and try and put right our wrongs in this lifetime, so that, you know, what the ancestors are asking everyone to clear that they didn't clear, you now need to clear your own. So that's not a bad thing, you know. The emperor goes within, doesn't he? And I'd say that's most people that have been on this journey that decided to do something that was so egregious, so hysteria and full of lies, and you didn't do your due diligence, one, to understand why people wanted you to get involved, and two, discernment and intuition. And a lot of it was lies because of jealousy and envy. You know, who jumps on someone's bandwagon because of jealousy and envy? I mean, you know, we're adults, we're not children. And because people are lied in the past. So some went within, and, you know, about the high priestess, but also you could say they're now reflecting that they didn't use their intuition around the King of Pentacles and the Empress, who obviously created all this because they wanted money and didn't look at the big picture as to, you know, love conquers all, doesn't it? You know, because they were lovers. Who juggled love because they didn't have any love, they just wanted money, hence true love. Because they were obsessed in devil's energy around the Ten of Pentacles, which obviously was previous, wasn't it? And so the Queen of Pentacles, who's actually the Queen of Pentacles in reverse, took a leap of faith and got betrayed. Because the intention, and if you look at some of the earlier ones, intention is everything. And so the intention, because there's no honour among thieves, that person got betrayed. Or something sinister because of the dark magic, remember, the death magic. The Queen of Swords, who's actually the Queen of Swords in reverse, none of these people are actually carrying positive intentions, was holding on. Now, holding on to a masculine or holding on to money from the previous Ten of Pentacles. Make sure I get this right. And he's now watching to see if there's a new beginning, because the masculine has now got his King of Swords and he sees through all the BS basically. But he's burdened because he participated with the Knight of Wands and took action. And now he's in contemplation because he's realised he spent all that time trying to harm and hinder a past life connection. Now, you could question, he was probably manipulated and under some very dark energy, but even so, you reap what you sow, don't you? So he's now in contemplation because he's looking at all the greed that he was drawn into by the Knight of Cups when they were younger. I remember the page, the Knight of Pentacles, who's obviously King of Wands, King of Cups. And now he recognises that the true love, who was the child that he was in a divine connection with, was left out in the cold. And was blocked because of greed. But she healed. And adopted the star energy, even though people were trying to hold her back from being in her soul purpose. She did what she was guided to do. She went through all the queens, she learnt her lessons, and she got into this energy. Because now, the secrets about the Queen of Wands being desperate to have something that was not their lineage, but she did it for money and not for love, i.e. the Empress, just for a Two of Cups. So the moral of the story is discernment, intuition, due diligence and validate. For me, understand the bigger picture. Why, and I would say, ask yourself the question, why does somebody want me to do this? Now, obviously, we know there's other stuff around, where the money went, and that's a different thing for a different day, and it's on one of the recordings anyway. But the point is, what would you do? Would you have money over true love? Because for me, true love will always create money. And you never get true love. You can only ever have one true love, can't you? So for me, I would ask the question, what's important to you? And it's about priorities, isn't it? And that's the moral of the story, is priorities. You know, jealousy, envy, they're things that are spirits that need to be healed. Due diligence, check it out before you take anything, because not only are you affecting yourself, you're affecting your own lineage. Discernment and intuition and mindfulness. So, I'm going to love yous and leave yous. Hope that makes sense to whoever needs it. Take it easy. Sending peace, love, harmony, and healing to all those that need it. Take it easy. See you later. Bye.